we are going to talk about the steamer. So on your tower, there's multiple functions, and one of the functions is a steamer. The steamer will help with opening up the pores, softening the tissue of the skin, help prep your skin for extractions, as well as just help stimulate and circulate skin. So with steamers, obviously you want to make sure that you are following manufacturer's instructions. The steamer that I have today doesn't need distilled water. Some towers will need distilled water, but mine just takes regular tap. It takes roughly about 5 to 10 minutes for the steamer to start warming up. And you want to make sure that when you are filling the water in your container, that it doesn't pass the maximum line. On your beaker or your container that holds the water will have indicators of minimum and maximum. And so you never want your water to be over the maximum line, nor do you want to ever be below the minimal line, because then that can either, if it's under the minimal line, it can get too hot and burn your unit. Or if it goes over the maximum line, it can overflow. Think of when you're boiling hot water and it steams up and it overboils and the water overflows. So that's the same idea of your steamer. If there's too much water, it can overflow. And that's where it could potentially spit out water, which you don't want. That can definitely cause second, third degree burns on your clients. Always make sure that when you're turning on your unit that you turn it away from your client. So it is not directly on them, that when it starts going, it will, you can adjust it as needed when the steamer is going. You never want to walk away either. Always make sure that you are with your client all times, because it is a machine, it can malfunction on you. So when you are turning on your steamer, there is a timer right here. It says power timer steamer switch. So you're going to just turn the timer on. I usually go about 15 minutes. Your steamer, you usually steam no more than 8 to 10 minutes. And you want to make sure that your steamer is about 18 inches away from your client. So I'm going to just turn it on. And then over here is going to be your ozone. So think of the storms, how it creates that distinctive smell. So in your machine, it does have an ozone switch. And this will give you a different type of steam that will give you more of like an antibacterial, more micronized steam that will help with clients who are more acne prone, congested skin. Okay, so the steamer is running now. So you can see the micronized steam. It's on ozone. I usually like to put the ozone on first so I can see where the steam is hitting my client. But since my model is on the drier side, I do want to shut off this ozone so I don't over dry her and dehydrate her from the ozone properties. Also another feature that some steamers have is that sometimes they have an extra nozzle right on the head of the steamer where you can add aromatherapy to customize your treatments for your clients as well. So during steam, there's a couple of options that you can do while the steam is on. You can apply a mask, like a clay mask, a charcoal mask, some type of purifying mask to activate with the steam to continue to open and soften the pores. You can also massage during this time as well, and to just, again, if you're doing extractions, to again soften the sebum to prep the skin for extractions. Or you can also, if depending on your time, if you don't have enough time, you're doing a mini facial, you can also turn on the steam during cleansing and have the steam on while you're cleansing the skin to further prep the skin for any extractions or prior treatments later on in your treatment. So you do want to steam for roughly about 8 to 10 minutes. And again, no more than 8 to 10 minutes. You can steam you can steam from 8 to 10 minutes, and then you want to keep your steamer about 18 inches away. You can either put the steam forward, or you can actually move your tower behind you and have the steam go behind your client. So whatever your preference is or the comfortability of your client. Once the steamer is done with the timer will shut off on its own. You never want to try to force the timer to be off, because eventually, over time, that knob can get loosened, and so your timer knob can get broken or malfunction. So I always just kind of let my timer just go off on its own. So that's why I do about 15 minutes, 5 minutes for it to warm up, and then 10 minutes for the steam time. The contraindications for this treatment are